Hey everybody, what's up? It's GleeCon, and I'm here again, diving into the fray of the epic journey through all things Warcraft. We read books, we look at comics, the most obscure canon and non-canon alike, and we also spend a lion's share of our time playing through every quest, finding every line of dialogue in the game. We are in the middle of, close to the finish of an alliance run through Feralas, so stay a while and listen as we take Lee Contessa, our human retribution paladin. We see if she can get the job done today. I don't know. I had originally hoped she could, but there's a lot of traveling, which is time consuming in Classic WoW. We're back at Stormwind for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to be here so we can get a little bit accomplished here before we travel a little bit more, but we really have to be smart and strategic about how we travel around the world. So we have to think about what needs to get done. One of the reasons I'm here is because we have to go to the auction house. We need, that's the main reason I went to a capital. We need to get the Fortitude potions purchased. Elixir of Fortitude. We don't have a quest for that yet, but we will. When I did this quest on my, I don't know. I think I just had to do the same thing. Alright, unfortunately, we need 2. So those are unit rates of 142. So we are going to have to spend about 3 gold, unfortunately, buying these 2 stinking elixirs of Fortitude. But at least, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world, and it is not gonna break the bank, nor is it, at least there's an availability, so nothing's gonna get us slowed down on that.
It's too far away.
Okay, here we go. So we purchased our materials. The other reason why I'm here is I wanted to be able to turn in the donation of Mage Weave, our last Mage Weave donation. And now everything is rune cloth from that point forward. So we can pump all the rest of our Mage Weave into maximizing our first aid, which we're at 267. We can do some rune cloth also if we wanted to. I don't put these on the spreadsheet. There's a spreadsheet I do on this show. I don't usually put this on the spreadsheet.
Good day, friend. Stormwind
because you can kind of get it anywhere you want.
See you later.
Mage Weave is running low, and we could use your help to replenish our stocks. By counting on the community as a whole, we would only need a donation of 60 pieces of Mage Weave cloth from you to enable us to reach our goal. Such generosity would not go unnoticed by Stormwind, I assure you. If you have 60 pieces of Mage Weave cloth on you, and you're ready to double them, I'm able to take them from you now.
Wonderful. We thank you for your generous donation, adventurer.
I like to make the Stormwind people
Safe
with an
travel.
English accent. So anyway, we've done that. Cool. We got the rep needed for that. That's a pretty decent amount of rep. And now we have the repeatable rune cloth open everywhere. And we have the 2, whatchamacallits. Alright, so what do we still need to do? Well, we need to get to Thalanaar. We need to... The borrower is in Tanaris. We need that. Because we need to get to the Hinterlands. We need to... That's in the Sunken Temple's in Tanaris. So we have multiple things sending us to Tanaris. Oh, but we also need to go back to Feralas because we need to pick up this stupid quest. I forgot that it re-popped up back there. Alright, so... Trying to think what would be the best way. Alright, we could take the tram to Ironforge, and then Ironforge fly to Menethil, and then from Menethil take the harbor here. I actually will pick up Shadow Shard fragments while we're there anyway, too, to save us some time. That's the one quest that is not pick-upable. Alright, so we'll do it this way. And then we'll just do a quick flight from Menethil over to... I mean, we could go to Tanaris, it really doesn't matter. Because we're going to have to go back to Ratchet, back and forth, too. There's just a lot of bopping around, and it's not smooth and easy. There's not one quick little, oh, well, if we do it this way, everything will be great. It just doesn't work that way, so... Alright, I think tram, then flight to the wetlands, and then over boating it over to Dust Wallow, picking up the first Maraudon quest, because that will be the next thing that we do. We're not going to do it on this episode, clearly. We're going to finish this zone, and we're going to finish the zone with the Horde character first, but I don't see any reason why we can't prep some of the work. That's another thing that just might... If this takes more than one episode, I will fold in some Maraudon prep time into everything also. There are some quests you can do outside in the exterior of Maraudon. I'm gonna miss the tram because it's already there, but we can go to the other side. Ooh! Got on it. I was worried my leg was gonna get cut off. Somebody saw me and buffed me. Thank you, person in the world out there that gave me +9 to stamina for half an hour. Much appreciated. Although we are going to be traveling a lot, so we're going to basically burn through most of that. Alright, so I guess what we'll do is we will then fly from Menethil, and that'll give us a little bit of time to land here where we can turn in our Thalanaar Delivery. We'll march down the road to get this, and then march back to pick up I mean, we also have this little cluster, but I kind of wanted to end with that. Because also, that will allow us to march up into, when we're done, to Desolus here, and pick up all of those quests. So, we're just going to have to see where the spirit takes us, so we might have one more... we might have one more episode ahead of us. The quests are just not going to take that long. But... Alright, so flying, here we go. I wonder if there's anything... I mean, I think we're fine. Pretty much mining thorium is the only way we're going to get, or some of these other things like dark iron. We do have blacksmithing to work on, but really we are pretty much up until 70. It is the... We're just going to be getting Mithril and trying to get Mithril spurs going.
No, the wild dwarves might have fast steeds.
It's a quick little flight over to Menethil. So I think in the long run,
I think not.
This is probably the fastest path, because this is a pretty short flight to Menethil compared to the flight down to Booty Bay. And then Booty Bay kicks you over to Ratchet, which we need to be at Ratchet for one of the quests, but we haven't gotten it yet. So that would be a little further as opposed from flying right here. It's really not that much, but it's a little bit. I started working on Fellwood off camera with that, so I'm just started. I wrapped up all the Maraudon things. I really haven't done a ton, but I did start Fellwood. I had a little bit of Maraudon. I always say Maraudon because it's like a marauder, but I could be totally wrong on that. I guarantee you I say it better than the voiceover or whatever it's called. Alright, so all I've done is this quest Timbermaw Ally to start getting Timbermaw rep, though. On both of them, I really haven't done a lot. So I will have... There actually looks, if you look at the sheet, this is where I start compiling. You can't take these, you can't use these, my sheet. I gotta put my hats off. My sheet is a lot better if you're into this than what is available out there. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and open up. We need to open up. We'll do this insert 3 twice, because really we should do it one more time, because we need to do this. Will be our Horde Feralas run coming up, and then we need Maraudon. Now, Maraudon is actually completely neutral. There's no... Actually, have we done anything that's 100% neutral yet? I guess we're going to do it the way we do it in the game, but Maraudon is 8 quests, 100% neutral. There's no quest givers tied into it that are not. There are a couple quests that are like picked up from specific the quests are picked up from different locations if you look at them, but they're all the same objectives. Like the Shadow Shard Fragments is picked up from Orgrimmar if you're a Horde, whereas we have to get it from Menethil
You can
Harbor.
find passage to Theramore from this
so that's
dock.
what we're gonna do.
Heed my words, those lands are rarely safe to travel for people
Read
of the
my
Alliance. Watch your step and your back.
All right, so the reason, that's all I've done. I did do it on both accounts, though. I kind of do it a little bit differently. But lately, over the past 2 months or so, 2.5 months, I've been so busy, there has not been a day where I do 2 quests tops. So the fact that I've been able to do 4 or 5 quests a day the past couple days is really, I've like tripled the amount of time. So that is helpful. And it doesn't, feel a lot right now, but I also was getting there and getting set up and moving over to Felwood. There's just not a ton. I also have been playing my, but anyway, back to what I was originally saying before I go down the second path. There's a pretty lot of quests. 87 is pretty high for a zone. But if you look at it, there is a lot of multiplicity here. So I wonder, like, first of all, you can throw out those 5 because they're bugged. But what you look for is the ones that don't have a faction, because that's effectively doubles a quest for me. And then you kind of look at some of the other things, like these I think are okay, but if you look at, say, Corrupted Songflower, for instance, that is just a thing. I don't know where we find it. It says you have to do the cleansing, then you get to clean these plants. So it looks like they're very... Yeah, they're gonna count as quests, so... But like if you look, there's a version of each of them. So that doubles up like... let's see what I'm talking about here. Where's some examples? So like... But look, Salvia Hunting. There's 2 of them. And the fact that one has XP and one doesn't, does that mean that one is a repeatable? Yeah, so it does. It opens up a repeatable version of each, kind of like we did with the giants earlier. So that doubles the time. This Salvia Hunting is a Horde version of the same thing. So that's a little part of it too, is that they really will be yellow, so they've taken neutral quests, but because they come from probably different quest givers or whatever, they should be pretty fast. But it is what it is. So I hope it'll go a little faster, and I'm going to try to maximize. I'm going to really try to push forward the time. I'll get to do a few quests today. I anticipate maybe 3 or 4. I do have some tasks, some errands and things to run today. So I will not get as much done as I did before. However, I had tasks and errands to run on Friday, and I did get as much done. I thought that's a wall, but I thought it was a thing. This guy's go with the flow. 55. So I don't think we're going to get 56 by the time we hit Maraudon, but I am looking forward to running that dungeon. I had 2 really fun experiences with that. It was pretty good. It's a long dungeon, but there's just a chance we don't finish everything, because as you can see, we're spending a lot of time and we haven't even done anything. We've just did a little prep work. You know what? I'll work on my Mage Weave bandages and see how far I can get there. If we can get to 290, I believe we can get to heavy rune cloth while we're in Menethil. That'd be cool. I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen because now we're down to greens for each. So that is what it is. I wonder if there's a way. I was just having this thought this morning that I wonder if there is a way to check like Warcraft Armory to see your character for Classic. So I kind of want to check that out too. Maybe when we're on a flight path, I'm going to check to see if we can check our characters out on Warcraft Armory and see how far we are. I mean, honestly, that was pretty nice that we got so much done there. And we're at 274. Maybe we can get to 275, maybe? Yep, we did. Okay, cool. But we're still 15 away, which I'm pretty sure you can take Heavy Mage Weave all the way to 300. But I think Heavy Rune Cloth kicks in at 290. So we've got a while for that one. Where is the... There they are. I forgot I wanted to put this mechanical chicken in a bank. There we go. I can put some hot smoked bass up there. Put my one single thing. Everything else here though is pretty like quest related or those I can sell. Tied with a bow. Okay. So yeah, we can't do that, but we can pick up Shadow Shard fragments. So I'm going to go ahead and click this off right now on my database. Shadow Shard fragments, we are picking up the Dust Wallow version. And that is... Let's go ahead and add this. You know, it's going to take a few. But that's just getting us set up for when we do Maraudon. I would like to have us set up as much as possible. There's just some quests you can only pick up in the instance. We're going to grab the first one while we're here so that we don't have to come here again or flying around other than to come turn this bad boy in. I might break up Maraudon into 2 episodes too because there is a pretty solid amount that you can do on the exterior of the dungeon, but it's also nice to run an entire dungeon run with people. So I might go that way, and then we might just have an episode that's devoted to cleanup and turn in. We're just going to really have to see how it goes. Okay, this is also the place you'd want to visit if you're a tailoring person. My tailor is my mage, and I'm stuck. I need to start getting rune cloth to drop, but I have not. Maybe now that I'm in Fellwood, maybe rune cloth will start dropping. Just hasn't really been a thing so far. But here we're going up to see Lady Jaina Proudmoore or her allies at the tip top, and they will give us the Shadow Shard fragments, which is the easiest quest to do. We can solo this one if we want without ever even going into the instance. Who gives it to us? This dude, yeah. Archmage Turvosh.
King's Honor. Well met, adventurer. We must be brief because there is much to do.
Yeah.
I've recently begun testing various crystals and their arcane properties. Lady Proudmoore has given me leave to ask travelers heading into Desolus to seek out a place called Maraudon. Within the ruined temple are great elementals composed of purplish stones I've named Shadow Shards. If you decide to head that direction and find some of the crystals, I would be very thankful. I could even fashion you a trinket from them if you so desire.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. The drop rate's 100%, and everybody in the party can loot, so it does not take long. You just need the 10 crystals. So, and it's exterior. There are none of these guys in the instance. They're on the purple side. So you just have to get a group to kill 10. Pretty easy. You get a necklace. Our current necklace is, let's see, if we're thinking of it as DPS, that's about 5 points. 5.5 plus maybe 3, 8, almost 9 points. But this is actually a rare incident where most of my other characters this wasn't better, but I think I'd rather have 20 attack power than the Stam in Spirit that I'm rocking.
For the Alliance.
So unless I get a better necklace between now and then, which is possible, because it's borderline upgrade. That is a borderline upgrade. I kind of like that necklace for this DPS ret paladin that we have, because I'm having a completely 0 DPS necklace on right now. It does help me be more defensible, and it does help my spirit, which is fine, but not at all useful for my DPSing. But sure, as a healer, which I might eventually have to switch over to that anyway. Once we start raiding, I might have to start collecting healing gear. We'll see. Or I can just get people to let me come along for the ride.
Where would you like to fly to?
Alright, now we need to fly to Thalanaar and Feralas. That is the goal. That is not that far. It's a straight shot flight. And meanwhile, let's look at this WoW Armory. There is WoW Armory Classic. Is that a thing? Classic WoW Armory. Let's check it out. So we want to find our character's name. So for instance, let's look up, she's Pagel. Glee Contessa on Pagel. Glee Contessa. Choose a realm. Pagel is where I believe we are. Alright, so that shows what I... Wow, that's not my hair, man. Rude. Look at my actual hair. So much prettier. Rude, but they do have all my gear. Okay. So let's look at stats. No. What else? Is there no way to look at... What's OnlyFans tracker? Item level 47. What else can we look at? PvP, not ranked. Talents, sure. Stats, okay. What I was hoping is there would be a ability to like look at yourself. In the let's check this out too. WoW Classic Armory. So let's check it out again. Glee Contessa. Pagel. Says no results found. Why? In Classic, does it have to be... Dream Scythe. So this is whatchamacallit. This is Anniversary. Alright, so we've landed. We can mess about with that in a little bit more. So let's go turn in our Thalanaar Delivery.
Greetings. Elune be praised. The delivery from Feathermoon Stronghold has finally arrived. Your presence here indicates to me that perhaps some ill fate may have befallen Rashel, our usual courier. I hope that everything works out. I know that recently the Woodpaw have become highly agitated from some source to their south. Maybe he fell to the wilds there. I would be careful, friend. Regardless, thank you again. Here is payment for this parcel's delivery.
Yeah, so I don't know what the purpose of this is, because he's just trying to help you continue on the quest down below, but it feels like maybe... Where's that Thalanaar Delivery? I never put it on there. So really, when we did this Woodpaw Knolls, we should have also had Thalanaar Delivery come in right then. And now we just finished it. Where? Yeah, the whole thing was whacked. I remember now because I didn't even have it correctly labeled in the sheet. So we picked that one up, and now we just delivered it. So we've got one quest today done. Thalanaar Delivery is where we're starting. All right, now we're going to go pick up that other quest because this is the worst design. It is a chain that makes you go back around the world and go back and pick up the next step. Like, you would never find this if you were not using Questy. Like, it'd be so hard. But the reward is another pet. So that's... We already got our own mechanical chicken. You're going to get, in my opinion, a much cuter pet at the result of this chain. It's just a pain in the butt to go get it. So now we're going to go back for an orphan looking for a home. Then we will walk back here again and get on the flight path and finally go to Tanaris. We do have to go to Ratchet, back and forth, boom boom, to Ratchet. But now that I have that plan worked out for Stormwind, I think once we get the Ratchet quest, we can go there and back up to Ratchet. We just have to be careful that we... We will have an hour. I think we can complete everything in an hour. I don't like messing about with all that stuff, but I think we can complete... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Almost walked right into that camp. Well, we have to go back. So I think we're gonna have to go to Ratchet and up and down, back and forth to Ratchet. Like, that's just... There's no way around that. Because I think we can get away without ever needing to go to Ratchet. Just a little bit off my spot. Alright, so we're going around Camp Mojache, I mean. Yeah, but anyway, I'm pretty sure, like, with regular WoW Armory, you can look at, like, on retail, you can look at all kinds of cool stats. Like, quest completed and blah, 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 or, like, your mythic levels, and see how you compare for your particular spec on your server, cluster, on your region, worldwide. Alright, but here we are going back to this annoying little Grim Totem camp. We don't really need to mess around with those people. We just have to get an orphan looking for a home. Well, maybe you should have allowed me to deal with this situation before sending me back around the world. I don't know if I can get up there. Maybe right here. Dang it. There we go. This is one of the parts I don't like as much about Feralas, is the way that the navigation is. The zone can be very unfriendly with all of the verticality. And you don't have flying. It's not like Storm Peaks in Legion.
Oh, hello, adventurer. I'm so glad to see you again. How was your trip to Darnassus? Well, you'll be happy to know that we've made quite a bit of progress while you've been gone. We even saved a nest full of eggs. Unfortunately, the mother died before we got to her. Say, would you want one for a pet? They look to hatch soon, so they'll need a good mother. What do you say? If you're really interested, take one of the eggs to Quentin at the racetracks in Shimmering Flats. He'll tell you more.
Okay. Will do. Now, we don't have a timer yet for some odd reason. And now we're going to run our way back. So this is called an orphan looking for a home. So we go up, bada bing, bada boom. An orphan looking for a home. Pick that bad boy up. Alright, so we now have a unhatched Sprite Darter egg right here. and that will eventually turn into another pet that we can have, which is a very cute pet. I like the sprite darters. They look very much like the Fey dragons, which is one of the flying mounts you can get in retail. I think Dragonflight maybe made them easier to access. It's one of the only mounts I've ever paid real money to have. And I think it comes with a pet too. I just really like the look of them. With their little weird mixture of fairy and dragon and a little curled tail and as the mount, and then as a little pet as well. There we go, nailed it. Small successes, making that leap over that river without dismounting. Alrighty, so we can look at a couple other things too while we're flying around. This is definitely the less engaging part of the video right now. We have two things we're gonna need to do. There's just no way around it. And this is what I was kind of trying to avoid yesterday, to condense this as much as possible. But we just have so much back and forth. Now we're gonna have to go to Tanaris, to Ratchet, back to Tanaris, and then then we are going to, I think once I'm on the timer, we will heart the Stormwind and fly from Stormwind up to the Hinterlands. And then go from, so we'll have to fly to, so right now we're going to fly to Tanaris. That's fine. That's not that much of a flight. We're just flying through Thousand Needles. Really not a big deal. And if you look, we're actually, the turn-in for the Orphan is right there. We're not going to do that yet, though, because that's going to turn.
Where would you like to fly?
Start our timer. We're going to go to Tanaris right now. Okay, that's neat. Must be a shadow piece. All right, so let's investigate before we do anything else. I want to investigate this classic armory some. Let's just look at classic. And is there no armory? See, there was an armory. WoW Classic Armory. But if you look at it, like, let's look at my, I have a, weird. So for whatever reason, stats and raid progress, see different players build, fashion. Yeah, so that doesn't help us either. So let's look up classic WoW track total quests completed. Okay. No, that's going to achievements. Classic era. We need era. Like Questy. To see your quest completion across different zones. So Wowhead allows you to upload your character data. Okay, but maybe Questy allows you to do it within. Let's look at our add-ons. Questy. Okay, but that's just not. Toggle the menu. My journey. Oh, okay. So they can show you what you've done. Cool. Alright, so missing pre-quest? Available quests? Okay, so we have done, I see, that's cool. So we've done every quest. Actually, that's pretty awesome, actually. We've done all 35 quests available in Thousand Needles. So let's go back and see what we can do. We can go up to... we did all 44 in Ashenvale. We did all 69 in Darkshore. In Darnassus, there's still 11 we haven't done, but that could be anything. That could be PvP. That's kind of neat. I've never played around with this before. Alright, let's go ahead and take a peek at some of these bad boys right here. So the Borrower, we need this. This is going to be part of the reasons that we're going to go up to Hinterlands. This is one of the 2 Hinterlands quests.
Hey, hi there. I have a proposition.
No. I don't need your gossip.
You have a great day.
A letter for me?
Are you another one of Darren's interns? She's quite a knowledgeable historian adventurer. You should be grateful to be studying under her leadership. Now, let me get the Super Snapper FX. You're gonna love it.
No. Okay, so let's go to our database here. Super Snapper FX. I can't believe that I've been doing this kind of mission without ever even thinking to check that. But I don't 100% trust Questy is the problem here. Okay, so we're going to get these 2. And the Super Snapper FX is now the quest we're about to pick up.
Have the first look at my new invention, adventurer. All you need to do is target whatever it is you'd like to take a picture of and push the button. What was that creature from the Hinterlands that you mentioned? Gamarita? Well, good luck finding her. I'm sure Darren will be quite pleased with the snapshot you returned to her. In any case, here's the Super Snapper. Have fun!
Oh, you know what? Let's see. I think we might have enough to pick up the Imperial Plate Boots quest, maybe.
Interest you on a pint?
You need 40
What's
for
your
those.
neck?
What else do we have?
How are you?
The Bracer.
Good.
We need. We don't even have 20. No, I guess I only have 5. Well, never mind. Do I have any thorium I can smelt? I don't think I do. Okay. Well, that's why we need more.
Off with you.
Okay. Alright, can't do anything about that right now. But good to know. Alright, the other thing that we're doing is we're going to go pick up the Sunken Temple. This is going to be the source of annoyance for us right now. Let's go back to looking at this questy. That was interesting. Alright, so... yeah, Darnassus, but I'm not as worried about that because that's going to send you through the world in various things. Desolus, I've done all 38. Good. Duratar, there's only 2. That's the Goblin 2. Whoopsie. I did those. Cool. Okay. Can't do it, I guess, because there we go. Because I'm technically in combat. That's annoying. Dustwallow Marsh. I'm missing one. So that means... oh, gosh. So annoying. That is probably related to, like, some Onyxia killing. If you look at Dustwallow, there's probably some Onyxia killing thing that's tied there. Or it could be more tied to, what's her name? The Sunken Temple with the... one of these type of things.
Yo! I know. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. My home is actually in Ratchet, but after crashing my Zeppelin here, I thought I might as well start the research I came here to do.
Yes, the Sunken Temple. I can say that I have seen it with my own eyes. Perhaps you'd like to hear more about it? You look like the adventurous type. I know things that may intrigue you. I once entered the foreboding chambers of the Sunken Temple. The evil in that place penetrates all that enter. I barely managed to find my way out, wading through the ooze that now covers the floors. All I can remember is stumbling through a large circular room filled with serpent statues. Recently, I discovered a round stone that appeared to have the same serpent symbol imprinted on it. I had it packed up and shipped to my workshop in Ratchet. Retrieve it, and I might be able to tell you more.
Okay, I wish you would tell me more now, instead of making me go back and forth to Ratchet for it. But we gained 3,600 experience just to come talk to the guy. So, whatever. Alright, so that one was called... now, this is a neutral one. So... we can't check it off. but we did finish the Sunken Temple and we picked up the stone circle. Alright, so now we have to go fly to Ratchet, and then get that, just come pick it up, come back, bring it back to him, and then we will come back and start this little process here of an orphan looking for a home. And then that's gonna... Then we will have 2 tasks wanting us to go over to the Hinterlands. We need to go take a picture of Gamarita, so Horde characters can be annoyed that they have to kill Gamarita, whereas we just have to come take Gamarita's picture. And we will also be turning in this bad boy right here. I don't know that I've noticed a ground pounder going around that close to the city. Alright, so let's go to Ratchet.
Where would you like to
Then
fly
we'll
to?
keep looking at the different things that I was looking at. Alright, so we just did those quests. Where was I at here? I don't even remember. I've been all over the place with my mind. Let's come back and look at these. Because this is... Oh my gosh, stop. This is interesting to me. I love it. Alright, so my guess is that it is this missing pre-quest. Yes, I see Alcaz Island in your future. So that's the one we're missing. I love that we can check that too. Felwood is where I'm starting. So there's only 30 quests, so it's not as bad as it looks. For a frame of reference, 38 in Desolate, so I think this should be better. Feralas is what we're on right now. We somehow have 45, but we're going to be missing a lot. There's all these repeatable. The Deer Elixir. Don't know what that one's about. We haven't done those 2 yet. But we are still missing some things. But a bunch of them are counting the chain we're on right now, so that will be... We're going to get 11 or so more available. These are the ones that we have that we can complete. Yeah, so that's not really fair for us to check. Moonglade, there are only 4 quests. Yeah, they're all tied to other things, so not worried about that. Onyxia's Lair, there is just 1 quest. Silithus has 39 quests, so that'll be a pretty zone, but that's the last one we're gonna do. Stone Talon we've completed. Yay. Tanaris. We're still missing 8 quests out of Tanaris. Let's take a peek at some of these. Yeah, they're all level 60, probably going into Zul Grub or whatever. And, well, one of them is the Stone Circle one that we're on right now. Okay. Teldrassil, we have missed 3. Oh, it's because of the Ruthurin Village ones. Gotcha. Alright. The Barons, done. There's only 16 Barons? Oh, because we're Alliance. 1,000 Needles. Completed it. Ngoro Crater we haven't even started. And then Winter Spring we haven't even started. Those are 47 and 42. Those are pretty big things. Alright, let's look at Eastern Kingdoms. So, Alterac Mountains we've done. Perfect. Arathi Highlands, completed. Badlands, completed. Blackrock Mountain, haven't even started. There's 13 quests we can do there. Blasted Lands, haven't even started. Burning Steps, haven't even started, although we have done 1 somehow. A Taste of Flame. Somehow we've completed that. I don't know how. Maybe that was that dragon one. Dunmorag, we've done. Duskwood, we're missing one. Oh, that counts as Duskwood, the supplies for Netherguard. Gotcha. Eastern Plaguelands haven't started, there's a ton there. Elwyn Forest, completed. Hillsbrad, we completed it, not that many there. Iron Forge, we're only like halfway done, but that's a capital, there's all kinds of stuff going there. Loch Modan, we're done. Red Ridge, done. Searing Gorge, done. Stormwind, we're actually 55 out of 75 completed. That's pretty good. Stranglethorn, we are still missing 11. What are the ones we're missing? They're all... Oh, PvP quests count. The Paragons of Power. So that's the epic quests. Mostly it looks like it's Zulgrub stuff. Swamp of Sorrows, we are missing, there's only 10 there, but we're missing a couple, which are, yeah, those are come out of the Sunken Temple itself. Hinterlands, we are done. Come back and look at that in a second. The stone circle here picked up volcanic activity. We got to remember to get that quest. That is Ungoro Ash. Anyway, stone circle is right here. It's this chest out front. So now we're going to get this, and then we have to fly back to Tanaris. Look, that looks just like the molt that we have. I don't know why some have red around the edge and some don't. Like, see, that has no red around the edge. This does. That does. Things that you can use. That one has red around it, like I can use it.
Talk to me.
Back to Tanaris we go.
For real.
Alright, we're almost done looking at what we have here. Yeah, Hinterlands is done. Western Plaguelands have 62. Oh my, I don't know why I thought Western Plaguelands was going to be shorter, but that's like the longest zone in the game. Westfall we've completed. The wetlands we've completed. So pretty much everything we've done as you would expect. And we are doing pretty good. Just have to make sure that we, that volcanic activity, for instance, that counts as Ungoro Crater. Alright, so we are now getting here. We just still have so much work to do. Alright, so what else can we do? We can start looking at wrapping up our class quests that we haven't done. We had gotten ourselves to Warlock. I think we did this. Let's look at Flawless Fell Essence. This will get us, yeah, to, that's part of that chain. What Nibby commands and Crocius's Infernal Core. So this one, that one. All right, so this is the, an Imp's Request slash Hot and Itchy. All right, let's take a peek at that. So this is the Sunken Temple for Warlocks that we're on. And then we'll just have to do the level 30 quests right here. There's a couple, there's a few. One is to get the Cyclonian, and the other is, oh, not 30, my bad. These level 50. So we just have the weapon for, or the little Sunken Temple for warriors. Alright, so the Sunken Temple line can start two ways for a warlock. One is called an Imp's Request. So I guess this can be picked up either from Ironforge, Stormwind, Orgrimmar, Undercity. Either way, and it ends in Fellwood, and it says bring a piece of fell cloth to Impsy in Fellwood. You just need one piece of fell cloth. And hey, you hero, an imp in Fellwood by the name of Impsy has requested your presence. It is somewhat strange, as he has asked that you bring a piece of fell cloth as a sign of good faith, considering the power you already wield as a warlock. I can only assume you know the satyrs of Fellwood carry this fell cloth. So when you get there, kill them. Okay, cool. You can find Impsy just north of the Bloodvenom Falls, which I've heard is quite lovely this time of year. As you can see, he's right there. As Horde, you would fly there quite easily. Do you have my fell cloth? What a splendid warlock you are. Oh, how I love the feel of it, the way it burns your skin and weaves evil thoughts through the mind. Now, Hot and Itchy is a different version of this. I don't know. I guess this is just, if you skip, that's what it is. So if you skip that and you just go straight to Fellwood, you can instead do the Hot and Itchy quest. Maybe this sounds strange coming from an imp, but I'd like a pet of my own. I really would. It's just not fair that Nibby gets me and I get nothing. In fact, it doesn't even need to be a living pet. I need something to start making it with, like some fell cloth. The satyrs here in Fellwood sometimes have fell cloth, so you just have to kill enough of them until you find some. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? You have my fell cloth? Wow, you are too kind, especially for a warlock. Oh, how I love the... Yeah, that's the second part's the same. The way it burns your skin and weaves evil thoughts into the mind. So that's the two-part ways that you can begin before we get the second thing, which there's always a second one in the zone. So the Warlocks get to spend time in Fellwood. Want to sell Maraudon boosts? No, thank you. But I would love to do a Maraudon quest run. Alright, so we're going to land here, and then we are going to march up into... Because we're not going to pick up his second quest, which is going to take us to Sunken Temple. Which we're not doing for 4 zones, so we're going to leave it here. We need to do Fellwood, Ajara, Ungoro Crater, and the Blasted Lands. Was messaging me because she will be swinging by and keeping an eye on my other daughter, my 24-year-old, and my 14-year-old son, who will be the 24-year-old will be supervising my 14-year-old son while we are away. But it does not bode ill, so doesn't bode well. I don't trust them to... My 24-year-old loves to mother and parent the 14-year-old who hates that. And neither one of them are, like, responsible about chores and taking care of the dogs.
Time is money, friend!
My responsible daughter... Ratchet is not far from here, Glee Contessa. The journey shouldn't take long.
Yeah, this is the stone. It's all coming back to me now, adventurer.
Alright, so he gives you 2 quests, The Secret of the Circle and Into the Depths. But they're both tied into Sunken Temple, and we're not doing those now. But anyway, my other daughter, the one that's about to be 26, she is my responsible daughter, but she does not live with me. So her and her boyfriend they've been together for 11 years or something like that. So he's basically one of the family. I have tasked them with periodically coming to check for signs of life from both these kids and the dogs. But my wife and I are already preparing ourselves to coming back home to a complete train wreck. Filthy home. So we're cleaning it as good as we can, topping off all the laundry. Gonna do store runs to fill the house, and I just hope they live. That's that trade-off. I mean, they're older now. This is the first long-term trip that we have ever taken where we haven't we haven't brought the family. We typically have a big family trip every year, and we will go either get multiple hotel rooms or we'll go get a big house or cabin somewhere, and we will fund a week or a week plus for everyone, sometimes including extended family. It's our big expense of the year. We always do it. It's always quite expensive. We try to stay in a beautiful spot. We either, we kind of alternate between going up in the mountains somewhere or going out to the, to some islands somewhere. Pros and cons to both. You usually get like a little bit more nightlife and swimming and stuff. A little more drinks action. You do the island side, but the mountains, I particularly love the scenery. I love mountain life. I love driving in the mountains. I love being in a place that's cool instead of hot. And I love hiking. So I love it, unfortunately for me, significantly more than anybody else in my family. So I often am the only one that's super enthusiastic about it. Although my wife has really been, pushing it forward. So, this time is the first time where we have decided to just kind of be selfish and go and take all the funds we would have done that to make it twice as long and twice as travel heavy trip, but just her and I. Alright, here we go.
Can I assist you?
Why, hello, Paladin. Don't let my location fool you. I'm really not here for the races, as entertaining as they may be. I'm actually here in Thousand Needles investigating all I can to find out how salvageable the land is. It has become my crusade of sorts to revitalize and replenish the area with new fertile soil. Perhaps I'll find there's a water source nearby. Tell me you haven't noticed how odd the transition between Feralas and Thousand Needles is. Strange magic was afoot when that happened. That's true.
Ah, a sprite darter egg, and one near maturation, if I'm not mistaken. Remarkable you found one, let alone in this good a condition. They're rarely seen in Feralas these days. I understand there were various poachers in the area trying to capture and kill them for many reasons. Too bad, really. Such beautiful creatures when they reach adulthood. How did you come across such a find?
Murder. Alright, so an orphan looking for a home. We are going to complete that. Great. And that should open up a short incubation, which it really truly is going to be a short incubation. Because I'm pretty sure we have the materials needed right now.
The Moonweavers, huh? Most intriguing. I wish the Sprite Darters could truly appreciate what it means to have those two look after them. They're both quite capable. So they gave you the egg as a gift. Well, then you should be responsible for it for as long as you desire. It appears it's almost ready to hatch, but we should ensure it's healthy and no damage has been done to it. I only need 2 elixirs of fortitude for a small spell to protect the egg. I have the rest of the components here with me.
Alright, so we are accepting this quest here, a short incubation, and we have those elixirs already. The longer I stay here, the more tempted I am to partake in these races, Contessa. Truly boggling. Have you found the elixirs yet? Once I can tell if the egg is going to be healthy or not, I'll return it to you to hold on to until it's prepared to hatch. Let me know.
Wonderful. These will do nicely. Give me a moment to mix together my components, and we shall see how well this egg is going to do.
Great. So this is where our timer is going to start when we pick up the next quest, where we have a 1-hour timer. This is going to give us a quest called The Newest Member of the Family.
A magnificent specimen, adventurer. If this creature survives gestation, then it'll be a healthy pet indeed. There is one last thing I would suggest doing if you plan on following through with this. Head to Airy Peak in the Hinterlands. Speak to a dwarf there named Agnar Beastamer. He's a master animal handler.
Beastamer.
He'll be able to guide you in the final steps of incubation. But hurry, adventurer. This egg is fragile and will not last long without proper care.
Alright, so here is where our hour starts, so we're going to kick it off by... There was something we needed to do in Swamp of Sorrows too, but... No, that's my... So now we're going to go to the Hinterlands, but at least we have 2 things we need to do in the Hinterlands. So I'm porting there. I'm ported here because this will get me to the other continent. Now we're over here, and we're still pretty far down, not as far as I'd like to be, but we're going to have some time now as we fly to Airy Peak. This is pretty much the longest flight of this episode, and this is why everything is just taking us so stinking long. Because of all this traveling.
Greeting. These great
and we had to plan it properly.
You can't find on foot. They'll get you there fast.
This is a
maybe
long
show
flight.
You something new at the same time.
All right. So when we get there, we are going to be able to turn this one in, and we will have 2 quests that we need to do. Food for Baby, which is going to be killing some wolves in the area, I believe, and then we will also be going down and getting our snapshot of Gamarita. I do not think our time is going to be good. I think we get the baby from this guy. Yeah, we haven't even done Return to Troyes yet. So that we're going to have to go back to Darnassus again. I guess the good thing is... There's no good thing. Because the Super Snapper, where do we turn that in? I take a snapshot of Gamarita and then return it to Ruthven Village. So from here, we're going to have to go... After we finish the Hinterlands, we're going to fly down to the wetlands and take the boat, not to Dustwallow this time, but over here. And then turning it back into Ruthven Village. So this is just so much travel. It's so annoying. We should get becoming a parent as well. That's going to happen right there. So what's left for us? All this said and done, I think that travel, by the time we hit there, my guess is we're going to hit this area and it's going to be too much time. So the flight back down is going to make us take another episode. The Horde quests, even though they're longer, are not as time consuming. When I did this with my mage, it was less painful because I set my Hearthstone to Feathermoon Stronghold. I only do a quest or two a day, so my Hearthstone's always basically active. And I can port to Darnassus, I can port to Ironforge, so there were easier ways as a mage to travel around. This is just painful. Alright, let's look at these quests. Let's try to finish these up. Alright, so the wrong stuff is step 2. You need to get 10 rotting wood and 4 blood venom essence. This is all happening right here. Now that I have my Felcloth, I can really begin making my pet. I'm going to need some eyes, though. Perhaps you could rip some rotting wood from the iron tree folk for me so I can carve out some lovely eyes. So his pet is a doll he's making. They're up north in the iron tree woods. I'll also need some blood venom essence to give it that new demon smell. The tainted oozes carry the essence and they hang out right here near Nibby and me. Or Nibby? Do you have the goods? This will work so very well. Now, this is going to give us Trolls of a Feather. My guess, yeah, it is bring a total of 6 voodoo feathers from the Trolls in the Sunken Temple. 2 amber, 2 blue, 2 green. Pretty easy as far as those go. This might be the only one that's actually, like, soloable. My pet is almost done. Now I just need something to stuff it with. Only the voodoo feathers from the Trolls in the Sunken Temple. Look, there is the little imp. And is that a gnome helping him? Maybe. Will do. They go by the names Gasher, Mijan, Zolo, Huku, Zulor, and Loro. Kill them. Kill them all. Alright, never mind. It's not soloable. Those are the trolls, I think, guarding the, like, temple things. The little altars. That's my guess. This is no trivial task, Warlock boy. Or girl. So I'll make it worth your while by giving you something of Nibby's. He probably doesn't need it anyhow. Did you bring the feathers? This doll needs stuffed. Okay, so we're up to Dunmorog. So had we instead taken the tram, so that's about a wash. Wonderful, now my pet is complete. Imsi quickly stuffs the doll and gives it a demonic hug. Oh, what an odd side effect these voodoo feathers have. I don't know what that side effect is. Maybe he's like glowing after. Alright, and you can either get the Soul Harvester, which is a Warlock Staff. 1% chance to hit spells, and Shadow Spell damage goes up by 24. That's pretty good. The Abyss Shard is a trinket, which just insta-summons a Voidwalker for you. It's freaking dope, too. Or the Robes of... I mean, that has, like, long-term benefit. Or Robes of Servitude... Increase fire damage and shadow spell. So it's already kind of weird because it's split and with stam and intellect. So my guess is the trinket's going to be the consensus pick here. Yeah, I put both the robe and scythe are really good for the level. And the scythe is cool, but can be replaced. The trinket is unique and useful. Yeah, but a staff is a staff. The trinket can't really be replaced. Yeah, and they're saying the other two... Well, this is talking about once you get to Outland. If we're sticking to Classic Era only... Yeah, this gives you the different quests needed or whatever. If you want short-term looks, go for the staff. If you want a short-term bump in stats until you hit about level 60, if you want something that you can always use but may not always use, this is it. Yeah, I just don't... Yeah, it says the robe, it's a no-no. Yeah, it'll get replaced by things fast. That was my feeling, too. The Shem? What the heck is a Shem? Yeah, the shards issue doesn't really matter. Demo spec. Affliction. You never use Voidwalker. Destruction. I mean, if you're solo, you do use it. Staff. So whatever. They're just... Now, it's all. That's all people are really talking about is what to do. Or which one to pick. I just feel like that... I guess if you like Voidwalkers, it's pretty dang cool. But the staff is pretty neat also. Alright, so that's it for the Warlocks. The only class quests we haven't looked at now for level 50 we haven't looked at the Paladin ones and we haven't looked at the Shaman ones either, but that's because we're going to do those when we get closer to Sunken Temple. We're actually going to rock them out. Well, and it worries me too because, for instance, if you look at the Paladin one, go to Stormwind here and look at the Paladin, it's called Chillwind Point. So they want us to go to, I'm guessing, Western Plaguelands. But we'll make an exception and go up there because we're going to need it to go to Sunken Temple. Sunken Temple, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but they really want to funnel every class in the game through Sunken Temple. It's a high priority for them. All right, we're going to go to Warrior Kinship now. Warrior Kinship. This will be our last quest here. So this is... Oh, it starts with something called a Troubled Spirit. Do I not have that on my thing? Oh, I do. It's right there. So this is unlike the others, this is a 4-point thing. Let's go. We're here, so let's go turn in. Okay, it's down there. Boom, boom, bong, bong. Don't die. Ugh. Sometimes I have a hard time finding the people inside this little building. This one's giving me a down arrow, so in the little underground, the options are limited. Alright, so he's kind of in the main base of it all.
You got my attention.
Greetings, Lee Contessa. How can I be of service to you?
Well, well, well. I haven't seen one of these in a dragon's age. Fairy dragon, if I'm not mistaken. Looks to be of the sprite darter variety. Excellent. Excellent indeed. Well, if this little fella's gonna hatch and live to be strong and healthy, then we should get some food for it. Good you got it to me in time. Sprite darters are omnivores. That means they eat both meat and vegetation. If your egg here's gonna hatch, we best be prepared. Some good eats for these little guys are flanks of meat, raw and juicy, believe it or not. I was never able to find out why, but it has something to do with the loon's plan for the elves.
Weird.
Maybe they were to be protectors or something. I don't know. I'll take care of the egg for now. Why don't you get me some good Silvermane stalker flanks for him to eat when he's hatched?
Alright, so my timer's over because now Homeboy's going to take care of him. Alright, so we just did... What's it called? We turned in... newest member of the family is now turned in, and we're getting food for baby. Food for baby. Makes me think of, there's an episode of The Office with the character Robert California, who is played by James Spader. And I think it's a Halloween episode, and he just does this. He finds out what everyone's greatest fears are. And then he tells us the finale, the climax of the episode is him telling this story where about, I don't know, some baby, and it incorporates everyone's greatest fears, so everyone's freaking out. And then it's a joke, and it has a funny punchline that's not appropriate for this format. But I just really like it. But he constantly calls the baby just baby, and baby likes, baby is hungry, baby's sleeping in the crib or whatever. Like, just the way he refers to it. So that makes me laugh. All right, here's another Sunken Temple quest. When we do our Sunken Temple quest roundup, it's gonna be a lot. There's a lot to do in Sunken Temple. I just don't understand why the game is so fixated on funneling every single character through Sunken Temple, regardless of what zone you're in. It's just a big deal. Alright, so we're gonna be fighting Silvermane. We need, how many? 5 Silvermane Stalker flanks, and we need to go get our snapshot of Gamarita, and then we're gonna come back. Here are the Highvale elves that, as Horde, I've killed, oh my gosh, probably literally at least 1,000 of them. Especially if you count this character too. I guess I am counting that. On the one character, I really think I killed like 600 at least. Before I gave up and just got part of groups and just did repeated Jinta Allure runs. I could not get the egg to drop. Which we haven't even done on this account. On our Horde characters, so I did do it. I guess the account that earned that egg, the character, my mom can account. She has since gotten her pet Robo Chicken. But for the Alliance, it's kind of lame because you do all this work, you get the pet Robo Chicken, and then at the end of the day, you're going to get the Sprite Darter, which in my opinion is much cuter. Alright, first time on this episode, we are, like, how far in? An hour and a half in? Yeah, we're an hour and 15 minutes in, and we are gonna now, for the first time, actually have combat. That's freaking WoW in a nutshell. I'm pretty sure these guys are stealthed. Just gotta find them. They're more densely concentrated. I think I heard one. There it is. Closer to the cliffs. Alright, so we only need 5. I don't know what the drop rate is. Hopefully we'll get lucky and there'll be a 100% drop rate on these bad boys. No. Right off the bat, not 100% drop rate. Walk on foot, just because who knows with these guys. So that's a Razorbeak Skylord. It is neutral, but he's not attackable because he's technically allied with the Wildhammer clan. Interesting. I'm gonna get Gamarita first. We'll get these guys along the way, but gotta kind of stop from time to time. I could use my perception as a human too. If you were a hunter, you could use flare. Okay, I hear one. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. You're really using your ears more than anything else, listening for that little. Well, and they don't have a 100% drop rate, so that means we probably have to kill at least 10. here's another guy right there. I guess the good thing is that they're harder to find, so I don't have to worry about running through my mana or whatever. We should have plenty of time to regenerate in between our fights. Come on, that was lame. She needs a new sword. She's been rocking this one a little too long. Okay, we got a second flank. I hear you. Now, I'm pretty sure when we kill Gamarita, when we take her picture, I'm pretty sure it makes her go hostile. If I remember correctly from the first time I did this. Okay, no flank that time. So it is looking like we're somewhere around 50-50. Right? Keep looking. I'm not talking as much because I'm trying to hear the... There you go, I hear one. I'm trying to hear the stealth. And for whatever reason, I don't know why it has to be the stalkers. These are the tenderest, most juiciest of all of the wolves. Who gives the best hugs in all the land? Well, the Silvermane stalkers, of course. They're so tender and juicy. Where are you? Where are you? I think it hurt you, bro. Where? There we go. I got you, bro. And we're almost down to walking down to where Gamarita. Gamarita patrols up and down the whole coast. She's an elite turtle. She's infamous among the Horde because we got our third flank. She really does make life difficult for the Horde. Considering she can just kind of randomly pop up while you're killing turtles. Here, another one. Right there. Come on. Should have saw you, bro. Yeah, that's wrong. Alright, alright. I mean, if we continue at this rate, we might get lucky and have all 5 done by the time we get Gamarita. We're getting a pretty good density. Go. But it looks like it's about, I was right, that it's about 50% on our drop rate here. And really, I don't know that we're going to do any other, there we go, we got our 4th flank. I don't know that we're going to do any other killing on this episode, because we've got so much travel to do. Okay, so we have 4 out of 5. Any druid can be our... Anyone got a Songflower Summons? Come on, be the one. Yeah. Alright, so we are good. We have all of our wolves now. Now we can just go hunt Gamarita. And then we have to stinking go back to Darnassus. What is that? True silver? Yeah, we could always use more true silver. Plus it can help our mining. Can always use more true silver. And it gave me a mining. We're down up to 292. That's great. So 8 more successful mining operations. Yeah, so I have some pretty fun things lined up. I will be in New York City for a while visiting a friend for a few days with my wife and doing other things, you know, seeing the sights, doing some touristy stuff, doing some hangout stuff, gonna, you know, have a good old time before I go to upstate New York for a wedding, where I'll have fun for a couple days there. We will then spend some time at Niagara. There's Gamarita right there. We can take the picture. So she does like aggro. I think I ran the first time I fought her. The first time I did this with my other character. But let's see if we can beat old Gamarita. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Ow. That's good. Probably gotta get a heal off here. Yeah, that little, I don't know if it was a bleed or if it was an armor cinch, but it was pretty painful. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good, yeah. Nothing special. Alright, we did it. So we have our picture of Gamarita, which caused her to get mad, so we killed her. And then, but you can just run. Once you get the picture, you're good. And we have food for baby. Food for baby. Alright, and then from here, I think, like I said, we're gonna go back to we're gonna fly to Wetlands, and we're gonna take a boat over to Rutherford Village. Go march across all of the Hinterlands right now. But we're in pretty good, we're making our progress. I got 700 XP for that too, and we've got some XP throughout the level. We still are 133,000 away because we only semi-recently leveled up. Go with the flow. In our flights, we can mess around with our warrior questing as well. We might be able to finish all of that today. I'm not sure. I might. Maybe, because we do have some boats. Some boating. Alright, so yeah, what's next now is we travel to Darnassus. So we've got to fly to the Wetlands, then sail over to Aberdeen, and then fly to Rutherford Village, where we'll turn in that quest. And then doing the math on what's left, I guess we can... Actually, maybe I'll save the warrior stuff and we'll kind of look there. Because that is really what's going to determine for me how we tackle the remaining zone. But because we are taking so much time traveling around and doing this silly little quest line, a quest line that is, I mean, kind of what you might expect for Classic. You're going to get a really cute, kind of hard to find pet. So running around back and forth. Also, they just kept sending us back and forth to Tanaris, to Feralas, over and over and over again. And that is what you'd expect from all this junk. The whole reason why we're doing this Super Snapper FX is that's just a favor for more quests in Tanaris also. So we're going to take a real long, hard look at what's left over, where that comes from, how those quests will take us, but I think it's shaping up right now where I can already tell there's just no way we are gonna... It's gonna have to be Gonna have to be another episode. So that means I will not finish this one before I go away. So there will be a hiatus before we come back and cap this zone. I just didn't know how long it was going to take us to travel and get ready, and the answer was a freaking long time. Because we are, I mean, even if I were to stretch this episode like a whole nother half an hour, I just don't think even like 45 more minutes, you know, taking it over 2 hours, getting close to 2.5, I don't think that's going to be enough to finish. But that's what we're really going to look at when we start flying. We'll kind of see what we have left to do and how long those activities are going to take, and I think that's going to be telling. Like, I think we have a whole nother full-on episode ahead, and I would also like to pick up those Maraudon quests as well, so that can just add on. That's not even going to add on that much time. A few minutes, really. 10 maybe 10 minutes.
Fighting that meat yet, Contessa. Your little egg hare's just about ready to hatch. If we don't have a good enough first meal, then he might not make it past his first week, and I'd hate for that to happen. Can't much lie to you, Contessa. I'm jealous of you getting this egg to begin with. Don't make me regret helping you out like this.
These'll do nicely, and if I'm not mistaken, your little egg's just about ready to hatch. How does it feel? You know you're about to be a mother? Ha 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 ha! Didn't think you'd have to deal with such responsibility now, did you?
I am a real person. Laughing.
Alright, food for baby is going to be done.
Whoa.
Becoming a parent.
More ready than I thought.
Whoa, it was a lot more ready than I thought. That's, this is now going to be called Becoming a Parent.
What? Here, take the egg. Better you have it so it bonds to you and looks to you to be its mama. Congrats, adventurer. You're a parent. Kinda.
Alright, so we have done it. And we got wrapped with Darnassus and Wildhammer Clan for that. And we get the Sprite Darter Egg. So that one's automatically bound to you, unlike the mechanical chicken, which bounded to me after. That thing is awesome. I love that thing. Alright, so we have our little pet Sprite Darter now. Great. We are now parents. In the game, we have a baby. That is my baby. I just think it's also one of the neatest looking little pets in the game. I really like it. Certainly one of the ones that are one of the neatest looking ones, if not the neatest, that can be found without like randomly getting lucky drops from bosses or whatever. Alright.
Where would you like to fly to?
To Menethod Hob. Alright, so now let's look at what we have. First of all, becoming a parent. Nice, that's done. Alright, so going to the top. So if you look at to the top, while we are up and about in Feralas, when we go up to do these quests, we need to hit to the top quest. It's a repeatable, that'll just take us a few extra minutes, okay? Then we already have done all of those, so then we've done that one. So we need improved quality, which we're on. That can be a little bit grindy. So that's really a real quest. And depending on the RNG drop of pristine Yeti hide, now I've never had a terrible time. I've always gotten it. I think the first time I got it, halfway through the quest, and the second one I maybe had to kill 2 or 3 Yeti after I had gotten my last one for it to drop. But that's whatever. And they're both going to require us to go back to the stronghold. We're going to turn in Super Snapper FX right now, and then Return to Troyes is what's going to get picked up. We've already done those. The Giant Guardian, followed by Wandering Shay. It's a 2-part quest we can do when we're up in that area. And then the Stave of Equinox and the Morrow Stone. So that is what Return to Troyes is going to unlock. So let's look this up. That's our warrior one. The Stave of Equinox. So let's just see where this sends us. It is going to send us up there. So that's going to be one more thing that we can do. You need to kind of charge it, and then that will pick up the Morrow Stone. Which, you just kind of bring it back. And that's really the end. So we're going to be able to pick those quests up when we go all about there. So, okay, cool. And what else? We've done those two. We've done those. So that's it. So we just have one quest loop we need to do here. So once we land, we'll be going out. We'll be getting the Rage Scar Yeti hide. So that's a typical quest. It's going to take us maybe 15 minutes. With the Feral Scar Yeti, it'll take us 5 to get there. So we're talking about 20-ish minutes right there. And then we will go up to the top. So we're going to add 5-10 minutes on there. So we're around 30-ish minutes into the episode. The Giant Guardian, picking up all of those. And then the Wandering Shay. It's a pretty easy escort if I remember correctly. So we'll add maybe 15-ish minutes for all of that. And then another 5. So we're looking at maybe around 50 minutes. Maybe 55. Okay, so now we have to go to the Ruthurin village boat. And if I want to go back and add on, it's going to take us 5 minutes to walk around, and then we'll pick these quests up at those 3 points. Which will maybe add on. So I'm thinking like an hour.
This dock here?
Yeah.
Well, you can catch the ship that goes to that night elf place.
Cool, we got lucky on the time. So, even if we're very streamlined, I'm thinking we have another hour of work to do, and that could easily devolve into hour 15, hour and a half. So we essentially have a whole other episode left, and that's once we land. If we sit here and wait for the flight, that's going to add at least 5-10 minutes on of fly time. So right now we're sitting at an hour and a half, hour 32. It's going to take us a couple minutes to get over there, and then a couple minutes to fly. Then we'll turn in that quest. So we'll be at about an hour 40. So we'd be looking at having maybe a 3-hour long episode, which that's just too much. So we're gonna rock it. We're gonna land here in Darnassus. Now, when we do all of these quests for Horde, so we will have to hit to the top up. We'll have the Gordani, more work with the ogres, and some Woodpaw work right here. But those can all basically probably be done in like an episode. I don't remember what New Cloak Sheen. I think that has us killing some of the Sprite Darters. And then fighting the Grim Totem. Then the Zukash, that sends us down to fight the bugs. We'll have to also grind our own way. Who knows how long that will take. This is a strange request and returning to the Witch Doctor. I'm pretty sure this has to do with going back and forth and getting these Muisecs, which are super annoying, especially when we're hunting the tree ones down. Market quality will be part of that. Yeah, then Sting Lasher's the bug, Gordani Orb, Zukash report, and then we will also have those giants going up and down to do. The Muisek thing is a little bit annoying. Okay. And then we will also, the only runaround we have though is to the Sunken Temple. So that right there, and going to Stranglethorn Vale. So the little bit of work we'll have to do to go to Tanaris and Booty Bay and Ratchet. That's that's a whole other thing. Yeah, so we can take the boat over to Rutherford Village, or we can pay and fly. Really don't know. I guess we'll just wait. Go on this boat. I don't know which one's faster. I don't think we're going to have to worry about fishing or anything on the next episode. But anyway, I think... So this is going to end up taking us 5 episodes. I could see doing this whole part in about an episode. Maybe even a little bit more. You start to add that plus the egg plus some of the improved quality. That gets us to a 2nd episode. And then the Dark Heart and the Mwisek running around getting that gets us to a 3rd. And then you take in some of the travel with the giants and the repeatable giant quest. I could see it going 4 episodes, which is what I thought this was going to be for us. But we'll end up doing a 5th because the Alliance tacked on so much travel. There really, if we count the quests, I don't think there is more. I don't think there's, like, because let's see. Of a Horde only, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 16, 22, 20, 29 Horde only. Alliance only, 12, 14, 18, 25, 28. Okay, so there's 36. So there's 7 extra quests by doing Alliance, and those quests all pretty much take us with tons of traveling. So there's a small chance we could knock it out. Because of the lack of traveling, we could potentially knock out the Horde in 3 episodes, but just based on the way that I play and everything, that will probably be 4 episodes instead. Gotta do that. Gotta look at that. Got an email from the airline saying to check in. There's okay. All right. So yeah, so anyway, we'll have one more episode of this that'll set us up for Maraudon. I think we'll take 4 if you include Maraudon setup with the from the Horde side. We'll do 4 episodes. The good thing is I will be back to a much more frequent record schedule when I come back. I imagine. I don't know. As always, I have some potential irons in the fire, and I'm always working. I'm at the stage of my career where I'm really trying to take it to the next level, so there's always potential promotions, but I could get shot in the foot because if some of my opportunities happen when I'm gone, there's nothing I can do about that. So it's going to be dependent on if I can get kind of a special allocation or not. But it is what it is. I mean, the more times I kind of get burned or let down, it does make that easier.
Elune be with you.
So you have finally returned, Contessa, and you've brought the contraption that Kurgle built for me. Perfect.
Well, Kurgle's invention lived up to its expectations. Don't get too excited, but do know that I am pleased with your work, adventurer. Now, where did I leave that book?
Alright, so the Super Snapper FX is done, baby. And that's going to give us Return to Troyes. I already know. Bang, bong.
Here it is, adventurer. Please take care of my book. Now hurry along. I'm sure Troyus is eager for your return.
I don't want Starfall.
In Winter Spring.
I don't even... Oh, yeah, Winter Spring Quest? I'm good. And we can't read this book, Feralas, the history. Even though it's got a... I don't know why Feralas' book is a picture of a little panda. Not sure, but... Today's episode, we got a couple new pets. We traveled a lot. We killed a handful of wolves. But we became mamas. And we also turned in a lot of the other stuff that we had to bop around. We took a picture of Gamarita. And we are ready now to return to Feralas to continue our adventuring. Which side of Feralas would be the best to return to? I think we can go over here because we have to return to Troyus anyway. And then, so we just have this portion of Feralas to do, and then set up for Maraudon. Guys, I will miss you, and I look forward to cranking that content out. Like I said, we got a little bit more than 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to till we make our next record. So check out the backlog. There's almost 1,600 episodes, so you got plenty to look at. You can also check out the Patreon. I got almost 50 episodes of Assassin's Creed content on there, so feel free to throw me a buck or two, and you can check out that stuff as well. Like, subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. And I will catch you guys all on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. This episode, in the pipe, 5x5.